Welcome to DWI, episode 43, 43. Listen, fellas, we took a little sabbatical to get our money right, you know what I mean? Get our finances right. That way we can lead to bringing these episodes to you guys live without any interruptions. But we're back. The sabbatical happened. Now we're back to give you that raw and uncut.
You did?
If you will. So without further ado, that's Dude, that's Wax, I'm Illy, we are DWI. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. Yo, couple more losses. The industry has taken some L's, yo.
It's been a crazy year.
I mean, like, to have John Amos, a.k.a. James Evans, died twice in my lifetime. The fuck, man?
Right.
You dig? Like, Wax, I already had to see Flora drop that seven. Listen, that big ass punch bowl that she broke, that was the third generation that was in that got to touch that piece.
Right.
So the lineage keeps going, but that little piece of ancient artifact that came out in like 1909, that some bitch is gone forever. All because James Evans died on the show. She had that some bitch and bashed it down, and she said, shit. Damn. Now listen, I took the first one. It was in the 70s, and I didn't know what the hell was happening, so I'm like, fuck. Our dad, you know what I mean? Our TV dad died. So, I was distraught for a little bit, even though I knew that he wasn't my dad. It just was like, holy shit.
Right.
What the fuck is going on here, man?
He was the neighborhood's dad.
Yes, he was. The way that he said, Junior, if you didn't straighten up right then and there was going to be a problem. And then look at you. Now, Junior, bruh, do y'all know what I'm talking about?
Hell
When James Evans said, Junior,
that was JJ's ass after that.
that's when you knew to get your act together, man. That's when you knew to get that shit 100% together. So not only did I have to lose him in the show, but now in 2024 we lost him again, man. How you feeling about that, Uzi?
I mean, rest in peace to he's a all-star, man. He's a legend. So I guess we all got to go at some point, but it never feels good.
No.
You know what I'm saying? To see one of the legends in the culture pass away. So rest in peace to a true legend.
Yes, sir. I mean, that dude had endless roles, though, man. Like, we brought up the iconic role of him as James Evans.
Right.
Can you think of any other roles that he played in that was memorable to you, Wax?
Shit, wasn't he Kunta?
Yeah.
Isn't that Kunta Kinte?
Yeah.
Old Kunta. With the one foot Kunta.
Yeah.
The broken Kunta.
Yeah.
They broke Kunta's spirit.
Right.
What about you, dude?
Mr. McDowell, you know what I mean?
I was just getting ready to say
that. That's an iconic role.
So, it's safe to say that King Jaffe Joffer and Mr. McDowell's in heaven exchanging telephone numbers to meet, on the other side.
Right.
That's what's up. I remember him in many roles, man. He played in a movie, Lockup, with Sylvester Stallone. He played in, what was that movie where he said, don't go butting your nose in this business? Was it that stripper movie with Ice Cube?
With Players Club?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah. He was a cop in that, wasn't he?
Yeah. When he was like, don't go butting your nose. I mean, that motherfucker meant business, man.
Right.
So, like, he played so many pivotal roles, but he was serious as shit.
Right.
And I know we're skipping a whole bunch, and people's yelling at the screen like, well, what about this?
Right.
Well, what about that? I mean, James Evans was an icon, like you said, man.
Right.
So it was just one of those things to where, like, when it happened, I'm guessing there's, like, something going on with his family, like,
yeah.
Supposedly he died a month ago.
Right, and they found out. So from what I heard, they found out when we found out.
Right,
which is some foul shit. Like if your dad passes away, you're supposed to know the second he does. Right. So even if you're not even if you're estranged or whatever that shit, like somebody's supposed to let you know. You ain't supposed to wait a month. Right. You know what I mean? So that's some
cold-hearted shit.
Right.
That's cold. Man.
Right. But people do crazy shit with death. You know what I mean? Death makes people go crazy and do shit that they normally wouldn't do sometimes. So
Right. You never know the emotions on how they go because everybody got their own set of emotions. You're right. Now, another death I'd like to point out, man, it was like very critical to our upbringing is an NBA player. He was famous for the no.
Right.
I think we all know who we talking about. Number 55.
Shout out to Dikembe.
Dikembe, man. He died at such a young age, man. What was it, 59?
Something like that.
Yeah.
58. Yeah.
Somewhere in that area.
What's the thing you remember him the most for?
Man, basically blocking all kind of people's shots, going no. And then when Mike just punched it on him, man, that's probably the most memorable. Yeah, because he said Mike only did it one time.
But I remember Dikembe for like you said, just being a outright dope defender and a humanitarian. Like he did a lot of things. He went back to his homeland and really like helped out a lot of people. So shout out to Dikembe for that. I remember him getting his ass chewed up by Shaq though. I do remember that. Man. I ain't trying to bring anything negative, but.
I mean, at that point in time, Shaq was the most dominant center in the game. Even over Hakeem Olajuwon.
Yeah, and Dikembe used to play defense with his face too. Like he'd be.
Shaq had his jaws loose. That was like pop, kept popping. And I'm like, damn, Dikembe, like use your chest a little bit. But what can you do against Shaq? At that point,
put a Mack truck up there.
That's about it, or AK.
Right.
Take him out.
And Shaq was just such a dominant force that you really couldn't do much with it.
Right.
He'd prove it too.
Right.
Every chance he got.
But he defended him. He was a formidable opponent. I guess.
Right.
He did as good as anybody could really do against Shaq at that point.
I was about to say he won a couple Defensive Players of the Year, right?
Oh,
He
so.
won that
I think
award
so.
a couple times.
And another guy in the baseball, that should have been in the Baseball Hall of Fame, Pete Rose.
Right.
Yeah.
Let me start off by saying this, fellas. There's no way that man had the accolades he did and didn't get into the Hall of Fame based off of some betting accusations.
Right.
Not saying that he didn't get proven guilty, but it had to be accusations for it to even be a thing. You dig what I'm saying? Like somebody had to have seen him betting against whoever he got in trouble betting against.
Right.
And then they found out what he did, and
he admitted to it all, but he said he only bet on his team to win. Like he only bet on his team to win. So it's not like he was throwing games. He was trying to win games. So
I guess they're looking at it like he might have had a little incentive. Like, you hit this home run, you get an extra $80.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Or whatever the case may be of the money back then.
Right.
On what it could have been. It could have been an $800 bonus.
Right. I mean, it's you ain't supposed to do that shit, but at the same time, like he paid the price for it. You know what I'm saying? They could have threw him in there later on in his life, so he got to enjoy the accolades that he did. Because I mean, the motherfucker was a hitting machine.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? He hustled more than anybody out there on the diamond. So like he deserved some kind of award, accolades, or recognition for what he did.
They blackballed him.
Yeah, they try to act like he never did nothing. I'm like, come on now, like you can't just take away what a man did on the field.
Right. Just because
he bet when he was a manager. He didn't do all that when he was on the field. What he did on the field was what he did on the field.
Right.
You can't take that away from a man.
I agree. How about you, X?
I feel the same way, man. Like y'all already blackballed him his whole career. Like you know what I'm saying? Like after baseball, like give the man his credit, put him in the Hall of Fame, and keep it pushing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But baseball's weird like that. Like I guess all Hall of Fames are weird like that because they don't have players don't vote on it. So it's like people in the press that vote, and them old ass dudes, they still have this old fucking way of
Code
thinking.
of conduct.
Yeah, and it's
and trying to keep the integrity.
Right.
But they'll pick a case out, make that public, but turn their nose or turn their head on others.
Right.
You know what I mean? Which is
Ted
terrible.
Williams was a terrible person, but he's still in there. It's just there's a lot of terrible people in there, but for some reason Barry and Pete Rose ain't allowed to get in. It's like, come on, man. Like what they did on the field, on the diamond, speaks for itself.
Correct.
and like stop being gatekeepers on that shit. That shit's whack. Like,
Y'all hear that shit? Stop being gatekeepers and let them people in there.
Right.
They deserve to be in there. But man, that shit is just it's crazy how like, you know, you can do a world good for, you know, your team and they're not even allowed to
right.
cast their vote on if you should get in there. It's based off a whole bunch of other popular opinions
Right.
that don't have anything to do with your productivity on the field.
And people that never played the game.
Right.
Like how people that never played the game, how are they allowed to judge people that played the game?
Right.
That to me is crazy.
It's corny too, because at that
Super
point it's like
corny.
you never know how that whole situation should
Right.
or shouldn't work out because you've
Right.
never been faced with it.
Right, you just been sitting there. They're like us. They got as much credit as we do. You know what I mean? We just watching the game. Like, we just watched. Like we didn't get out there and play. We didn't have to hit. You didn't have to have 100-mile-an-hour balls firing at your face. Pause. But you know what I mean? But you didn't have all of that happening to you.
Baseball's treacherous though.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
After a while, I quit. I was
Playing
like,
with injuries,
Yeah.
like, dealing with like, you know,
Right.
everything, and then having to go perform in front of thousands or
Right.
millions.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, thousands at the stadium, wherever they're at, millions across the world.
Right. And then after all of that, you got to go talk to the media.
Win
After
or
you just
lose.
lost,
Yeah.
after you just lost, now you got to go talk to them. And if you're an asshole to them, then they hold it against you forever. It's like I just fucking lost the game. Like leave me, let talk to me tomorrow.
How do you expect me to feel after
Right.
this? Now, if I'm like, oh man, we just took a loss, man, but
Right.
hey, all wells and in wells,
Right. But
like,
then they're gonna be looking at you like you're crazy again. Like
And
there's
ready
no
to
winning.
trade you.
Right.
It's
There's
a
no winning.
lose, yeah.
Like, he's too happy about a loss. Like if he was mad, you'd be fucking talking shit on him. So
they'd be too angry. Well, he's too
Right.
angry to talk to.
right.
It's sports, it's
Right.
competition.
Like, he just put his heart and soul out there on the field or on the court, and now you want him to be fucking Mr. Cordial and Mr. Nice, and that shit it's not logical.
It's
You
not.
can't do that. You can't turn it off like that. Like if you've played sports like that, you know, like a loss hurts.
And that's why people that didn't play at that level shouldn't have they should be able to have an opinion, but
Right.
their opinion shouldn't matter.
Yeah, they shouldn't have a say.
Right.
Right.
But yeah, man, it's a crazy situation, and I wish that they take a second look at Pete Rose's case
Right.
and allow him to get in there.
Right. So his family can at least see that he got something out of it. You know what I
Right.
mean? Because I'm sure he got family that you know, kids and grandkids that love him and that
They
watch
didn't
him
see
play.
that side of Grandpa.
Right,
They
right.
didn't see the betting side
Right.
of Grandpa. Like, hey, Scotty, leave the room real quick. Yeah, let me get $75 on.
Right on us.
Like I'm sure that when he did that shit, by the time all the bets was placed, he wasn't doing that shit during Christmas morning in the bathroom when the kids was unwrapping their
Right.
gift. They got to enjoy Grandpa.
Yeah, they got pop.
Right. So like, man, shout out to Pete Rose, man, for being who he was, man. He was a dog, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Did you guys ever see that clip whenever he ran that catcher over in the
Yeah.
All-Star game?
Yeah.
That's my favorite Pete Rose clip because he didn't give a shit. He
Right.
didn't care if it was an All-Star game or not. He trucked that dude.
That Wax, I swear to you, that's back when baseball was dangerous, man.
Mm-hmm.
And they had the wildest names, like the pitchers. Man, Cutthroat McGillicuddy, that motherfucker would throw a knuckleball at your ass and shit. Have you struck out and ready to charge him down because you swung at that dumb shit, man. Back in the day, man, when Pete Rose played, they had some real baseball players, man.
Right.
It wasn't just like this shit to where the game is sped up and it's over in an hour and some
Right.
change.
They was doing cocaine and uppers and speed and
Drinking beer,
drinking
and
beer,
smoking
smoking
squares.
Like there's that one picture of Dave Parker from Pittsburgh where he's just sitting there smoking the square in the dugout. It's the coldest picture ever of a baseball player. He's just
Right.
sitting there with a square in his mouth, just looking at the camera and shit.
What's the pitcher's name that threw a no-hitter on acid?
I
He was
forget
a-
it. I forget. Was it Doc
Pittsburgh?
Gooden?
Nah, he was a Pittsburgh pitcher.
Nah, and Doc wasn't doing no
Nah, Doc-
hallucinogenics. He liked the good stuff. he liked the party. Don't you dare put no hallucinogenics. You can say Jimi Hendrix, but don't you drag Doc into this. He got his own situation that he was dealing with, man.
It was Doc Ellis.
Ah, okay.
I knew it was Doc, but it was Doc Ellis for the Pirates.
He
Yep.
threw a no-no. Tripping.
Yeah.
That's insane.
On LSD.
Yeah.
At any given time, that motherfucker could have hit somebody dead square in the face, thinking he was like a lobster or some shit like that.
He was probably throwing at the birds that he seen. He seen birds or little munchkins running around. He was hitting them.
Pinging them, too.
Right.
Spow!
K-ing niggas.
Could you imagine playing a whole game of anything on LSD? Like, man, I'm going to tell you this, man. Back in the heyday, I made the mistake of accidentally on purpose taking a little nip-nap of something, which, you're in college.
Yeah.
So, shit happens, but... Man, I was in West Virginia and they had won a game. They was flipping cars out there. When I went out there, the trees was like, ooh. I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, it was a special time to be alive back then, man. It was scary though.
I never indulged, but like it's because I always heard like you fuck around and you get stuck in that zone. I ain't trying to get stuck there and shit.
Well, listen, if I do a wrong move,
we know like he's back, he's there.
I'm like, I'm in the 60s and I'm tripping balls. Like I said.
That's where you be in Narnia and shit.
Well, listen, I enjoy it over here because, like, we'll get to that later on in the Steelers segment. So you needn't bring Narnia up here. They don't need the viewers at home don't even know that. Matter of fact, we're not even going to talk about any of that shit, Wax, until they do 3 things.
Shit, what's that?
That's like, share, and subscribe because it costs you not a dime. And dude, I believe they can do something else.
Get in that comment section, man. Let us know what y'all think.
Get in the comment section below. Let us know how you feel about any of the topics we're talking about, especially this Hall of Fame shit with Babe Ruth. Like, he was like, I came back as the Bambino, the ghost of Bambino. But nah, this Pete Rose debacle, man, because he deserves to be in there. So
right.
If you guys have had a chance to watch baseball back in the 80s, you'll know what we were talking about. So please leave your comment.
And like, what's his name too, man? Put all the dudes that was on steroids in. Get everybody. All of them. Bring them all in.
That motherfucker definitely told on motherfuckers. He was like, hey, fellas, we're caught. Get from underneath that. Hey, yo, get out of there from underneath that Bronco. They see us.
Right. McGuire, Sosa,
Roger Clemens, like, let them all be in the Hall of Fame.
Because it's not like they didn't know.
Right. And baseball was fun. Watching it was fun.
And they was pushing it. They made players do that shit pretty much. So it's like,
doesn't like to see roided up athletes cracking home runs in the river. Like that people stopped what they were doing to watch like McGuire hit his 70.
And him and Sammy going back and forth.
That's when baseball was fun to watch.
It was a competition.
Right.
Mm-hmm. You could get juiced up and crack the most homers.
That shit saved baseball. Because you remember right before that was that strike. And then nobody really went back to baseball. Mm-hmm. And then as soon as they started cracking them home runs everywhere, everybody went right back. So they owed them that because they saved baseball.
They want to distance themselves because it had some type of steroids and this, that, and the other. But like in actuality, they should be kissing their beanbag.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And the public, nobody cares. We knew they was on the shit. Like we still watch.
Mark McGuire went from like 163 solid to like 228 in like a half a year.
I was about to say when Barry Bonds got those muscles from his neck to his shoulders, I was like, something's up, man.
I knew
something is up.
I knew he was on roids when his hats start splitting. I was like, what the fuck is that shit Barry got on top of his shoulder?
Those 2 lumps right here on the side.
I knew something. He was outgrowing his hats too fast.
Yeah, man. I mean, because like we got to see him in Pittsburgh, and he was like slender. I mean, he was still like a good 2-something.
He was smaller than Bobby Bonilla.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And like if that says anything.
Right. I mean, it does because Bobby Bonilla was a bigger dude.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So like you said, when he was here, he was a Golden Glove. He was playing defense. When he got to San Fran, he was line up and hit. He didn't play shit else but cracking home runs
and playing first base.
That's it.
Like where he didn't have to run.
Right.
Shit. Like I don't know. Steroids brought the game back.
It did.
Bring steroids back.
Put it in the NFL too. Like fuck it.
You don't think it's in there?
I mean, they test for it, but they
Them
don't test for it. Like in the NBA, I don't want to see people jumping from the 3 dunking and shit. Like
you said, make it a better place to break steroids, man. That's beautiful.
Make it exciting. My bad.
But listen, man, that whole thing, that's Like the sports world is just like the entertainment world.
Yeah.
It's just like the entertainment world. You know, you have your quotas to meet, you got your obligations to meet. You know, in some places they would say it's just as scripted as a movie.
Right.
But
You got your Diddy parties.
see, here you go, man.
Like, got your baby oil.
Hell yeah, y'all motherfuckers, man. Y'all ain't right, man.
Your baby oils.
Yeah. Speaking of which, man, Diddy had to have put Johnson and Johnson's kids through college.
He
man.
did.
Like,
It's Johnson and Johnson.
right.
They added an extra Johnson.
And a John in there.
John Johnson.
You know, that brother, he's already in his own situation. But, you know, keeping it hip hop, we was talking about like a stockpile list of like the 10 cities that had the major influences on hip hop.
Right.
And I'm guessing not as of right now, but like
Just
historically.
throughout the history of hip hop, it's like the list that I saw says New York number 1,
All right.
Atlanta number 2, number 3 Chicago, number 4 Memphis, 5 Los Angeles, 6 New Orleans, 7 is Houston, 8 Detroit, 9 Oakland, and 10 Philadelphia as the top cities with the most influence over the history of hip hop. Who had the most influence? Like, what do y'all think about? Do y'all agree with the list? Like,
First of all, I feel like that second is kind of like crazy. Atlanta, I'm moving LA there. I feel like they had more of an influence sooner.
right?
Now, you can say Atlanta all day. I mean, Dre said it best. South got something to say, and he's from Atlanta.
Right.
But I'm not even going to dip into their catalog of influences just as yet.
Right. No.
I got to cover LA's first.
I would keep Atlanta where it's at, but I would definitely move LA up to 3. I would keep Atlanta there.
Really?
Yeah.
What about your Dre's? Without Dre, you wouldn't have
That's
any
a
of
fact.
these producers that
That's
are
a
out
fact.
right now.
But like LA only had their run was like maybe 4 or 5 years where they
Gotcha.
had it, and it's kind of battling between New York on who had it. But Atlanta has had this shit in a chokehold
But
for
you
10
got
years.
Tupac that went 10 times diamond, bruh.
Yeah, true. Like I said, he influenced this shit, but they had their run was only about 5 years.
Okay, let me get this straight. So you're taking a city that has a stockpile of dope-ass MCs and a whole new style and genre,
Right.
which you can get into that. But I'm saying right after hip-hop, and you got hip-hop as far as the guys who they give the credit for making it. Sugar Hill Gang. Then you got, you know, that hip-hop, hippie, you know, then you got the message.
Right.
That right there was an iconic song, but that right there it showed you the struggle of hip hop and what the elements were. But you had that going on for about, I'll say, 10 years, from 78 to 88. Then you have a guy by the name of Rakim changing the flow and the pace and the structure of hip hop and the bars that he spit. Him and Big Daddy Kane.
Right.
I'm about to say, don't forget LL.
Right.
LL was one of the founding fathers of it, so I
That's
couldn't
what I'm
forget
saying.
him.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
So,
I mean,
it would-
their influence was major.
Yeah.
It was the influence. It was the culture.
Right.
It was.
It was.
Run DMC, Fat Boys,
Exactly.
Cool Mo D.
Yeah,
you know,
New York had it on lock for, like you said, from the 70s all the way up until
about 88-ish.
the mid. I would say till
Because
till
at,
90.
in 89, you had a group by the name of NWA coming out
Right.
with gangster rap.
But New York was still there.
They
Like,
were
they
there,
were
but
like-
LA was making a fast come up, bro.
They was. I wouldn't say they was there just yet, but that's semantics at this point. But,
Okay.
But after that, you know, like you said, after NWA, you got Dre, Snoop. You know what I'm saying? Easy E.
Ren, Doc,
All of
Snoop Dogg, and his whole crew that he brought, the Warren G, Nate Dogg. I mean, the list goes on, bro.
Right, but it was like I said, it was only like up until Jay-Z and them took the reign. So that was like a short-lived little thing until
But
like
it was still there.
Pac died. Yeah, it was there, but like Atlanta has had it since probably 2005 till now.
I can't even argue with that shit.
Atlanta had the shit in the got the shit in the chokehold. Like I'm
Still.
tired of Atlanta. I love Atlanta rap music and rap, but like it's time for somebody else to get that shit, man, and
Right.
run with it. But nobody want to take it. So
What was you saying, Wax?
I was gonna say Atlanta still kind of has it in a chokehold.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Because like that's where everybody's moving to and trying to get big out
Right.
of Atlanta now.
Right.
Can you name, I'll say about 5 of your top 5 MCs from Atlanta?
Yep. I can. All right. First and foremost, Andre 3000.
Don't forget Big Boy.
He's not in my top 5 though.
Okay.
Yeah, I got Andre 3000.
Uh-huh.
I got T.I.
Okay.
I got Gucci Mane.
Mm-hmm.
I got I'm not even gonna say Ludacris, but I got Jeezy
Okay.
and Pastor Troy.
Wow. That's a
Throwback.
hell of a list.
Throwback. Pastor
What about
Troy
you,
used to have
dude?
me
I mean, as
amped.
far as Atlanta, then you got Future, who you can't deny his influence on the game because
Yeah.
like these young kids love Future and Lil Baby.
Mm-hmm.
21,
Well, Lil Baby is
even though 21's British, but he hails from Atlanta a little bit too. But
is it safe to say that Lil Baby is a wave? Like that cat, he's on point, man.
right.
He's
Shit,
a
you
wave.
got Thugger.
He got
Right.
influence though.
Yeah,
Right.
no, I'm not saying he's just a blip on the map. I'm saying he's like a vibe, if you will, like
Right.
these kids say.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Like
Yeah.
he creates a situation of his own, if
Yeah,
you will.
no, I totally agree.
Then you got, man, if the list goes on, Killer Mike.
Yeah.
That's a good one. That's a sleeper right
Right.
there. Like I wasn't on him like y'all was. Like I had to follow y'all's lead because I just wasn't feeling it. I had this
Right.
first album and it wasn't that
Right.
too much of the shit to me. But you're right. Killer Mike is up there.
The Killer Mike had a dope album. But yeah, you know, like I said, Atlanta, like you said, they got it in the chokehold. So we pretty much agree on New York, Atlanta, and LA. Like,
I'm just saying I would switch them because they got LA at 5.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I would move them to 2. But you got to think about it, Wax. Right after that, you got Chicago with the trap music in 3rd.
See,
Not trap music, but the drill music.
I wouldn't even put Chicago in number 4 though.
They're at 3.
Or number 3. They'd probably be 5 or 6.
Right.
In
Okay.
my opinion, because like Texas had it for a little bit.
Right.
You know what I mean, with the swangers and the like drinking lean and all of that shit, and that
Right.
shit was a wave for a while.
Right.
You know what I mean? Chicago definitely has like, you know, they have their influence though.
Right.
But like
Because they had Kanye,
Twista,
Twista.
Common. You know, he was one of the most influential raps because after it went from gangster,
Right.
I'd say it had small little time in backpack rap.
A little bit,
And
yeah.
he was part of the
Yeah.
backpack movement.
little pockets. if
Right.
you will.
Yeah.
There was little pockets of like backpack rap or conscious rap. You know what I
Right.
mean?
They were hand in hand as far as I was concerned because like it was like, damn man, I'm sick of going to a party and gotta dance to all this, you know what I mean,
Killing and
thugging and
drug-
shit.
yeah.
Right.
And drug dealing.
Correct. So there was a small moment where it had a nice beat with some elements coming at you for your mental.
Right. It was
So
kind
I
of like
can
a,
appreciate that.
It was kind of like a rebirth of the conscious rap from the
Right.
90s. Like a little bit of a rebirth of that, but never got to push that they really like that gangster rap or that hardcore trap or drill ever got.
Well, let's not forget the group Do or Die. They was from Chicago.
Right.
Yeah.
And you got guys like
The
Chief
Brat.
Keef.
Got the Brad.
Yeah, Chief Keef.
Right.
Shit.
Lil Durk.
Yeah.
King Von. You know,
Right.
that whole movement. And they switched from the backpack movement, you know, to another form of hip hop, which is drill music that we know today.
And like we don't really, us three, we don't get down with, I don't think we do,
Nah,
get
I
down
don't.
with the drill music, but can't deny the influence on the culture.
Because it
In a
was,
good or a bad way, you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like it's there.
it still changed the
Yeah,
element
it
of hip
had
hop.
its impact.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they doing that, they doing drill music in the UK with the boom bop with the bloop bloop blop, bloop 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 blop.
Spit that shit, man.
Go skip to the cup to the keep clap.
I was ready for an English muffin and shit.
But yeah, so that drill music really had his. It's still, you know, I mean, I don't know if it's dying out or not now, but like,
It's just like more popular in other states
Right.
now. Like, cause like Philly right now is kind of drill. Pittsburgh is
Right.
kind of drill. You know what I mean? So they're just adapting. Like New York is
Right.
drill. Like, which is crazy as hell.
which is whack. Like, go find
Yeah.
your own shit.
Right.
Like, you know what I
Make
mean?
your
Let
own
Chicago,
way.
yeah, Chicago had their drill. Like, see, that's what I miss about old hip hop is like, it was like when your region, like with this thing, is like you had your region had its own style. You didn't, like, niggas from New York wasn't trying to do LA music. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though LA shit was dope, like, niggas wasn't trying to do that shit. Same with, even though I think when Atlanta kind of got on, everybody kind of jumped on that shit, and that's when that kind of started, because everybody started trying to do, snap rapping, and then started doing trap music everywhere, which I think that shit, like, I don't like that. Like,
well, Jeezy, he was a big influence on the trap era.
Yeah.
His album, man, I know a bunch of motherfuckers that was up here getting ready to do a bunch of wrong shit to that shit. Like,
I'm the realest nigga in it.
Hell yeah, that
I
motherfucker.
already know.
Got trapper of the year.
4 times in a row. But listen, I ain't even.
You get ready to get into a bag or some shit, man.
I ain't even gonna go there.
You start flashing back like, where the baking soda at?
You know. Like,
Right. But yeah, man, so that right there, it created an element of its own because you put that music on to move forward.
all right.
Now you got number 4. Go ahead, Wax.
No, I was gonna say who's up next.
Number 4 is Memphis.
Okay.
And I think Memphis is too high. Even though I fuck with Memphis music, but like, I think they're too. I would put New Orleans.
666.
I would put New Orleans over Memphis.
I'm going with you.
I would put New Orleans over Memphis.
Mm-hmm.
Over 666.
Yeah. I mean, like, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're good.
But like 666 was a whole different kind of rap that did like nobody else tried to duplicate.
Right.
You know what I mean? It was like some devil worshipping type shit at first. Like
Right.
you know what I mean? It was talking about killing the devil and all kind. Like it was some wild shit. But I totally agree.
Right.
That's where I'm going.
Because like, you had P, you had No Limit, and then you had Cash Money, and those 2 runs back to back was a hell of a run for New Orleans.
So you feel like New Orleans should be in the 4th slot?
Let me see. I don't
Because
know.
you got, like I said, Memphis. And I thought Pastor Troy was from Memphis.
Nah, he's from Atlanta.
Atlanta.
What about my man
Georgia.
David Banner?
Yeah, I
Mississippi.
would put New Orleans. I would put New Orleans up there. I mean, you got
In the
Weezy.
4th?
Yeah, I would put New Orleans at 4.
Me too.
You got a lot of motherfuckers coming out from down
That's what
there.
I'm saying.
Just
You got-
a whole No Limit and Cash Money individual.
Right.
15 artists, individual artists.
Right.
If you want to just cover like our favorites from No Limit, you got Mac, Soldier Slim, Mystical,
Mia X.
Mia X.
You know what I mean?
P was
spit.
hard.
Fiends.
Fiend,
Murder.
capital F-I-E-N-D.
And everybody hates Silk, but I liked Silk's album.
I did. I like the Charlie to the game.
It
That's
wasn't
it.
dope, but it was like
It wasn't whack.
it wasn't whack. It hit. He was trash, but like
What about Skullduggery?
Skullduggery was.
Shout out to Cuzzo.
Right.
Mean Green,
Yeah.
Cain and Abel.
Oh, Cain and Abel was dope to me.
And then you move on to Cash Money Records. Lil,
Juvie.
Lil
Turk,
Wayne,
BG.
Lil Wayne, Lil Wayne.
Lil Wayne.
Yeah, you got Lil Wayne,
Yeah, you got the hot boy.
BG,
Big time.
Turk,
Right.
Juvie.
Right. Manny Fresh.
Yeah,
Shout
Manny.
out- Man, listen, Manny Fresh and Beats by the Pound, man, 2 of the fucking
Dopest.
the
Yeah.
dopest fucking producer groups. Like, even though it's probably just Manny, but Beats by the Pound don't get the love that they need.
And the Dungeon Family.
Right.
That's another.
I gotta throw in Mac for No Limit. I didn't
Yeah.
throw him in a Mr. Magic.
Yeah, Mr. Magic.
Yeah. I
Mr.
forgot about
Magic.
They call me Mr. Magic.
Shit, man. No Limit put out an album every week, man. It's like, do y'all understand how crazy that is?
Right.
And they all
week.
so high. Like they all so like.
And the publishing deal, the distribution deal that P had was just, they'll never do that. They made a mistake when they did that. They'll never do that shit again. They was like, because they didn't think he was going to sell what he sold.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, they didn't think he was going to do that, man. That motherfucker had them shits pumping out of every fucking record store. Every week we was lined up like, who's next? I don't even know. I don't care what this nigga's name is. If it got No Limit on that shit, we buying that
You
shit.
see that tank?
If it got No Limit and a dope ass cover,
Right.
Like we're experimenting. Like, all right, I don't know who this is, but I'm gonna listen.
And then they throw a track with Fiend and Mystical and Magic or Mac.
That's it.
You got
you
my
look-
money.
You look on the back, like, oh, Mystical's on this shit. There you go.
Yeah, yep. Here's my $12.
Right.
Wasn't that crazy how it was just frivolous, man? We just go up that motherfucker and be like, and if you didn't have enough money,
You already know.
them motherfuckers.
Hey, I ain't saying a word.
Circuit City. Sorry.
With the little razor on your keychain. Like,
Zip, zap, zip, zip.
all right, y'all. Shit, I remember being so down. I ain't gonna say who, but people was digging in the fountain for change. You remember? Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Mm-hmm. It's big ups to y'all.
And you know who you are because you're watching this shit. So crack up and take a fucking bow.
Because that's ingenuity right there. at its
And it's
finest.
guts and glory. Because to see all them motherfuckers that used to be out there seeing you like picking up all kind of fucking silver.
Sleeves all wet.
You are a fucking
Yo. All right, who's number, what? Where are we at? 5 or 6?
Four. Yeah, Memphis number 4. Los Angeles, they got number 5, which we already said. We got New Orleans at number 6. We got Houston at number 7.
I disagree. I think Houston should be.
You think Houston should be up there?
Yeah.
why?
Just because, like, it had a nice little run with Paul Wall, Mike Jones.
Yeah, the chameleonaire.
Yeah, I didn't like him that much, but
I didn't like Mike Jones that
Yeah.
much. I like Chameleonaire better because at least he was a spitter. That Riding Dirty, if y'all motherfuckers just listen to it, listen to the fucking lyrics, man.
Listen to the fucking tracks.
Man, I'm serious, man. That motherfucking shit was dope as fuck, man.
Like DJ Screw.
He created that fucking chopped and screwed shit that's slowing it down.
Yeah.
Whole different genre of rap. Like,
Which that lasted for a little hot minute. I mean, in Texas it was a big thing,
it's
but
still going on. And then like, just with Texas alone, you had I almost said
UGK.
yeah, there
Yeah.
you go.
But I was-
and Scarface.
Right. Yeah.
yes.
And
Ooh.
the Ghetto Boys.
I want to get to that after I get done talking about that screw shit because that's what went well with your lean.
Right.
Get you a pull up, get you a nice little, and then sit back and listen to that screw music.
Right.
That's what it was for. It was like a dinner and a movie type of combo.
Sleeping like
Hell yeah. Driving and shit, you know what I mean? But that's where the influence came from with the lean
Right.
and the chopped and screwed music.
Slim Thug, yeah.
But
and Trade the Truth. I don't know if y'all fuck with Trade the Truth. but
Trade the Truth's dope.
Trade
I
the Truth
do.
is dope.
But my man Face, man, I don't ever want to fucking not say nothing good about Face,
He's
man.
the best out of Texas
Yeah,
ever.
he's the-
Hands down.
he's the Houston god.
The greatest MC to come out of Texas ever, man.
Yeah.
I would have to agree with that.
Because I don't think his pen was ever bad.
Ever.
Like, he was just ahead of his time.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, Face was that dude. And he was writing rhymes for Bushwick.
Well, they both were.
Yeah.
They both were.
Oh, him and Willie D.
Yeah. No, whenever I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you up. Whenever he stole Willie D's style and freestyle, like that was, I'm like, this motherfucker is a god.
I'll eat you up with your own style.
Yeah. I was like, that's cold.
Willie was quiet as he was like, oh shit. I can't, sorry, I can't fuck with that.
But nah, man, with the illest shit, man, was when they came into that fucking track when they did that shit with Siegel and Jay-Z, and that shit really happened to Face.
Yeah.
And he put that shit in the
My man,
fucking
my
rap.
homeboy Regis.
Man, when he said that shit, I was like, what?
And that shit hits home too,
It
because it's
hits
like
home,
when
man.
cause you can hear the pain in his voice and shit when you hear it. And it's like, damn, like that.
Damn it, Regis.
Right.
I feel for you, bruh.
Yeah, man, that was a real track, man, and I was like, God dang, man.
Yeah.
That, and then they had
Mind playing tricks on me.
this year Halloween fell on a weekend.
Right.
Me and, you know what I mean, like,
Day by day,
I
is
wonder
more
who
impossible
wrote that.
Day by day is more impossible to cope.
I feel like I'm the one that's doing dope. Can't keep a steady hand because I'm nervous. Every Sunday morning I'm in service, praying for forgiveness. And doing what?
Trying to find an exit out the business.
Come on, man. Are you fucking serious?
Listen, like,
That and my block. That's
Yeah.
still not
That,
like
yeah, that mind block. Well,
That's a
shit, what about
classic.
Never? Never. Never. Like
Yeah.
that nigga came off with that track.
that Mary Jane, Mary, Mary,
Alright, okay.
Mary. Tell me we didn't ride and smoke
Bro.
that shit for
Okay,
years.
that and Smile. Are y'all happy? We wasn't gonna leave Smile out, man, with Pac.
Right.
You know what I mean? Feel me.
Head up.
And by the way, it is Libra season still, you know what I mean? I went ahead and celebrated, you know what I mean? A birthday on Friday, man. So, you know what I mean? Definitely Libra season.
Happy birthday,
You feel me? Thank you, my guy.
I'm sorry for the late shout outs.
Oh,
Happy
nah.
birthday to this guy.
Appreciate it. But
OVO, October's very own.
You know what I mean? And pun intended and pause because I'm the other October and I'm by myself.
The other vaginal option.
See, yeah. Here you go, man.
Yeah, nah, shout out, man.
But nah,
Happy
man.
birthday.
Thank
bro.
you, y'all.
Happy
Thank you,
birthday.
fellas.
It's much love, man.
And it's much love back.
Y'all get in the comments and wish this dude a happy birthday. Because
Right.
like every July, me and this dude over here run amok.
Right.
Y'all show my man some love. Man. Straight up. Straight up.
It is Libra season, so I had to put that out there. And a lot of dope MCs is born in October. You got, well, I ain't gonna say in October because you got some September Libras, but you know, you got Eminem, you got Lil Wayne, you got Will Smith, and before Will smacked Chris Rock, we claimed him even more, but that's Libra shit.
Right.
We smack motherfucker like what Libras are responsible for is we do shit. We're not actors, we're reactors.
Right.
So we do shit and then think about it later like psh, and I guarantee when he said that he was like, oh shit. I'm getting ready to get sued. He started putting money aside that, you know what I mean, he had to go get.
I heard he was moving it in his brain. He was like, all right, I'm gonna take this couple million. Here.
I heard Diddy's a Libra.
No, he's not.
No, I'm fucking
Diddy's a cancer. He's a freaky ass cancer. Yeah, he is. He was
He's a 69 guy.
He's definitely one of those, but he was born between the 1st and the 7th of July.
Nah, he wasn't.
Like, he celebrates all 6 days.
I'm gonna look it up because Diddy
I
was
got
born
you.
in
I'm just
October.
talking shit. He's a Scorpio.
That
So
makes
fuck
sense.
him.
That makes
September.
sense. Right before.
Right. He's bleeding into y'all shit.
He soiled y'all shit.
He's in his own shit. We ain't claiming that motherfucker.
He had enough baby oil to
I
slide.
was about to say.
He slipped.
We kicked him in the stomach and got him about it. You see that nigga?
Right in October. Like,
Yeah, the fuck he didn't. That nigga was
slip and slid.
He
right
slid this way and fell back. And he was like, oh, yes! And landed right on July 1st. And then he celebrated to the 7th.
Nah, no.
He did all the vicious fucking that he wanted to do from the 1st to the 2nd, or to the 7th, and had no regards. It was like, I'm spun.
Anyway.
I need an IV.
He went straight got a fucking Johnson & Johnson IV of freshly squoze baby oil.
Slicking up his veins. His veins was silky slick.
Oh man, see.
Anyway, let's get back to the list.
Right,
y'all.
right.
Fuck Diddy. And fuck him being a July kid, even though he's not.
No, he just fucks during July. He was born in September, but he does the bulk of his fucking in July.
All right, we got number 8 is Detroit. Now, who y'all got? Like, who's
Big
out of-
Sean's
out of-
from Detroit,
yeah,
and
Big
Eminem's
Sean,
from Detroit.
And Eminem and
Royce the 5'9",
Right.
Bizarre, my man that passed away.
see, I would move Detroit down because, like, other than
So
Eminem,
would I.
like Big Sean got bars. Don't get me wrong, but after like 3 songs of listening to Big Sean, I can't listen to no more because this is the same shit.
And he's not influential.
Right.
Eminem was influential.
Eminem definitely.
Yeah, but he's like one of the only ones like that. Well, I can't say one of the only ones, but he's the only one that comes to mind.
Right.
Trick. No,
Yeah, like I
shout
said,
out Trick,
Eminem
Trick.
is the only one that's like, nah, I'm just
Nah,
you
Trick
know,
Trick
like,
gonna come
no
get you
fly
in your
zone.
sleep.
He ain't gonna let me fly in PA. And shit.
I thought I fucking told you not to mention my name.
Yeah, like I don't like. I'm looking at the list now, and I'm like,
There's not too many.
it's just Eminem, Big Sean, Royce is dope, but he's not influential.
Obi Trice.
T Grizzly, Obi Trice.
Obi
was dope.
Trice was nice.
T Grizzly's dope as hell.
Yeah, and he got that video game shit on lock.
And he tells a story in his raps. That's
Right.
one thing I like about T Grizzly, man.
Mm-hmm.
He sets up a dialogue in the story. Don't forget, man, shout out Rest in Power Jay Dilla.
I'm about to say Jay
One of the
Dilla.
dopest beat.
Good point.
Jay Dilla was from
Good
Detroit.
point.
Definitely.
Hell yeah.
But he did all of his damage in Philly, though.
He did, but it was like you gotta shout out where he's from.
That's,
you know, it's
that's
not
a
where
fact. That's a fact.
you so you know, you gotta give that love to Detroit because he started out
doing his
Right.
thing, you know.
But
Right.
I mean, like even still though, I would probably move Detroit down a little bit.
Yeah.
Like cause
From 8th,
yeah, I probably move like 11 or 10. But that's just me. That's just
Right.
my opinion.
I mean, like you said, because Eminem is dope and he was mad influential, but that's where
it's not enough.
yeah, that's where their influence kind of like shuts down right there. So
I'm trying to think about the brother. It was Eminem's best friend.
who
Proof.
Proof.
Right.
Shout out to Proof. Rest in power.
Yeah, D12 and them, but they was. I mean, Proof was dope, I guess, but like the rest of them.
Not so much.
Yeah.
Not so much.
Nigga, what? Bizarre?
Come on, Phil. Stop trying to be funny. I'm not even gonna let you do this.
What?
I am not even gonna let you do this. That dude was trash.
Right.
He was garbage. But who's next?
All right, we got Oakland at number 9. I would move Oakland.
I wouldn't move Oakland.
I would move Oakland up above Detroit.
Okay, if you want to do that, make them 8.
Right. Because I mean, they got some heavy hitters. They got Too Short,
That's how I was just about to say.
840, 40 Water. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Mac and
Mac
Dre.
Dre.
Yeah.
Mac Dre.
Mac Dre, I said Mac and Dre.
But yeah, man, like they have influence.
Right. Tupac spent a lot of time in Oakland and
Mm-hmm.
shit. You know,
Feel me?
Drew Down.
I mean, Tupac, he had the Bay, he had the East Coast, and I mean, I'm not going to put him in there with L.A., but, you know, he was with Death Row.
You got Yuck Mouth. You got the alcoholics.
Yuck Mazy,
You got
welcome.
The licks.
the alcoholics. What's Humpty Humping them niggas?
Yeah.
Oakland.
Digital Underground.
Yeah,
Good
Digital
point.
Underground. Hammer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Turn this mother out.
and
You know that?
Hammer gets a lot of shit, but Hammer was
Influential
That
on the
nigga.
music.
very
He
influential on
was
hip hop.
that nigga.
He had cereal, the motherfucker had
cartoon.
fucking cartoon.
He was like one of the first to take it globally.
He was,
You know what
right.
I mean? Like in commercial.
Right.
Like
Right,
So
and he
that's
got a lot.
influence.
He got a lot of shit for that, but like he took, like you said, he took hip hop to a different level that no one ever had seen it before.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's how they know what hip hop is around the world,
A
because of
lot of
Hammer.
them. Right.
And he was a good, like, I ain't gonna say good show pony to be a catalyst to do it, but you know, Hammer was a good influence, man.
was.
So shout out to Hammer, man.
Hell yeah.
he fell off trying to go to war with Michael Jackson though, and being like one of the best entertainers. Like that's where he made his mistake.
What, by saying he was better than Mike?
Or just putting him in there in his glove and shit, like in the video, like he was like taking his spot. Y'all remember that shit? Too legit to
Too
quit.
legit to quit.
You had that glove in
At
there.
the
like-
end, you know, Mike probably bought his royalties. Mike was like, all right, I'm about to just buy your
Yeah,
royalties.
silly
You know,
man.
right.
This silly guy.
I mean, Mike brought the Beatles, man, right up under fucking Paul. He was like, how much do you think the Beatles would cost? He was like, why, Mike? What you thinking about buying a Bill? And I didn't, that's not my shit, man. It's the boy fucking Eddie Griffin shit. You thinking about buying a Bill? Like, the way he says that shit had me crying, man.
Yo, who's next? Who's next?
We got, at number 10, the last one, we got Philly. Philadelphia.
It's PA, so shout out to Philly, man. I mean, Pennsylvania. Brah!
Right.
I might move them down to
You
7.
might move to who?
Philly.
Move them.
7 or 8.
They're number 10. You'd move them up?
Yeah. Yep.
Right.
I think I'm with you, Wax. They had some heat.
They
You
definitely.
got
did.
Black Thought. You got my man Gilly, the kid. You got fucking Cassidy. You got me.
Yeah, I mean, Meek Mill was influential.
He was,
Right.
but
You have Beanie Siegel. You have
Freeway, Eve, Schoolie D,
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, truth be told, you got
Lil Uzi Vert.
Fresh Prince and DJ Jazzy Jeff.
Right. I mean, Corrupt's from there, but like we still, that's kind of like, you know, he did all this damage. I would, like I said, me personally, I would put Jay Dilla for Philly, even though he's from Detroit.
Right.
He did all of his work in Philly with the
Roots.
Yeah, the Roots and all of them.
Jill Scott.
Yeah.
Well, that's not hip hop, but still.
Lisa Lopez apparently was from Philly. I
I
didn't
didn't
know
know
that.
that either.
But you know, I mean, but we're just talking about the regional shit where they're influenced. So, like when it came to Philly, like when they was with The Rock, man, like they had the shit on Smash. state property and being like Siegel Freeway, PD
Emilio,
Crack, Emilio Sparks, PD Crack, Chris and Neef. Like they had the shit on lock for a little bit. They saved the rock.
They
kept
had
the
the
rock.
same amount of run as the West Coast, if you will, like as far as that time frame.
Right.
You could say they split that time frame
Right.
equally, being on top of their craft at
Right.
that time.
I get you, but just maybe not as influential as the
No,
West.
no,
I
no,
know
no,
what you
no.
mean, though,
But
with
they
their time.
had the time to be able to do
Some
it.
kind of burn.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So if you wanted to give them a fair assessment, it would be the West Coast all day. But, as far as the time that they had to make their shit bubble over,
Right.
they had about just as much time as the West did when they went on their tear.
And they was on the hottest label in the world at that time, and really made the label good. The label was already dope, and they took the label to another level.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because Beans, whenever that nigga Nas said compared to what he say?
Beans, you
whack.
whack.
Yeah, compared to you or whatever however he said it.
You couldn't think of it.
I know,
Tuesday.
Compared to
Compared to Beans, you whack.
Yeah.
Yeah, and everybody was like,
he ain't lying.
right? Is he?
He is not lying.
Man, because I'm going to tell you this shit. When I picked up where you go, like, that's all, folks. But when I heard, I don't do much.
Yeah.
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 I don't do much.
Yeah, that shit was hard.
That shit, and I can feel it in the air.
Any what's the word I'm looking for? Honorable mentions?
Cities.
Yeah.
Miami. Well,
You got to put Miami.
I would
in
say
there.
Miami because of Luke, but who else was from Miami? other
DJ
than
Khaled.
Rick Ross.
Rick Ross and
What? You ain't gonna put me in there when when I named the sauce after you? I call it Dude Sauce. That nigga gave you your own sauce.
Miami and Sauce.
I was some sauce.
T-Pain.
Yeah. Well,
shit.
no, he's from Tallahassee.
Man, we forgot to shout out the biggest big dog from Atlanta, JD, Jermaine Dupri.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can't leave him off that list.
He definitely-
Crisscross.
He definitely had a giant influence.
Crisscross had a major influence to kids.
It was like for about 20 minutes.
Yeah, but
Until we got yelled at and got told to turn our clothes around or we was going home from school. Like there was y'all remember that when we was wearing our clothes backwards and we get sent to the office? Like anybody caught wearing their clothes backwards, it's an automatic out of school suspension. Like damn, y'all ain't fucking around.
Right. Like, am I hurting somebody? By
No, but it's just like it wasn't in their school dress code.
shit, it wasn't in anybody's dress code except for us stupid ass kids.
Mickety, Mac, Daddy.
That's what I'm saying.
This was a move back
They
then.
they had influence though. It was
They
a
did.
short little run. Shit, Bow Wow.
But he's from Ohio.
He's from Columbus.
Oh, well.
But like I said, I take it to where you do when you do your damage at. Like,
It's not where you're from, it's where you're at.
yeah,
He been
kind
get
of.
him.
Cause like he was in Atlanta doing Atlanta shit. Kind of like Usher. He ain't from Atlanta, but that's where he cut his teeth at. That
Right.
dude's
That
house.
motherfucker had all ball mouth.
I'm
He
sorry.
got-
I can't help myself.
This
I can't
motherfucker.
help it. So what do y'all think about Toronto? Would you put Toronto up there? Because Drake's had a monster run.
He has, but he has done it with other people's shit.
Right.
Right,
So
right.
no, I wouldn't put Toronto up there.
But
Just
I
me.
don't know, dude.
I'm with
Tory
you guys
Lanez.
because he because I fuck with Tory Lanez and I fuck with Drake to a certain extent, but like you said, he's a colonizer. You know what I mean? He got his shit off of with everybody else's style. So it's like he had some of his own shit, but
Even when his own shit was his own shit, he was still biting rhymes though.
right.
So it's kind of like
Yeah, it's hard to put him Toronto up there.
Damn, that was a fucking hell of a fucking zinger, dude. Where the fuck you pull that
I
from?
was just thinking, like I said, I was just thinking that he had a hell of a run. And he's still on his run, apparently, until, the Super Bowl. I don't know. But,
So do you think he's gonna sing it?
yeah, I do. I think they're either going to sing it or at least play the instrumental and then move to something else. But, like,
Like din 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 din.
yeah, and then go to something else just to get everybody, oh, shit.
he got to at least get an A minor. Like he has to have the whole world sing that shit, and then they can move on.
But that's what Drake doesn't want the world to sing.
Right.
Exactly. Because
Right.
Could you imagine sitting in the club being Drake and the whole club going up on that part? Like, how would that make you feel?
Like how Dangerous felt when he was in the track here, 50 Cent, like see, right there, like a bitch, nigga. I be feeling like a fucking stone cold idiot. It's 50 Cent tore that boy and do ass.
I just don't want anybody to get hurt, man.
Yeah. They walked him out the room.
They put him back in the limo like, get this big bitch out of here.
That motherfucker went home with some candies and a thing of flowers on his lap and shit with his legs crossed.
I just don't want anybody to get hurt.
People was getting hurt.
Oh, man. Cops was getting
Bruh,
killed.
that motherfucker, the hook was click, clack, pow, officer down. So wait a minute, you don't want nobody to get hurt? It's so right.
It's too late for that shit.
The hook was click, clack, pow, officer down. Like, if I don't... Listen, I'm not an expert on dry snitching. I'm not. But that right there, like, whew. Hey, I'm not saying that so-and-so killed him, but I wouldn't trust so-and-so with a gun around any cops. But like I was saying, like, and then go into a whole nother line of, like, come on, man. That motherfucker was like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So...
Junebug. He sent Junebug for the hit. Like,
and Junebug heard that shit. His eyes got all big. His stomach had butterflies in it. Like, this nigga then went... I mean, the beat was crazy, though. That beat was fucking crazy. But, like, seriously, man. So, listen. We went ahead and gave you the list of 10 that they put out there as far as public opinion, and DWI created its own list. So, do yourself a favor and do us a favor and get in the comments. Tell us your list. If you want to see California at number 2, Missouri at number 5, Detroit number 1, you know, whatever you want to see, whoever your favorite coast or city is, go ahead and give us that order and let us know why. It don't cost you a dime, and you're definitely helping out DWI's algorithms. We trying to take this show nationwide, so fellas, like they say, all good things must come to an end. So, what I can say is we'll be back here, same time, same location, different material. Peace.
Peace.